What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting video. We are testing out some new e-moto suspension for these lightweight bikes. I know some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, that's not that exciting. I don't really care. I'm gonna click away. Well, don't, because today is different because we have some new suspension from a company called RFLOXA. We got it on the front and the back of Reed's Talaria Sting here. This bike recently got a bit of a refresh, has some cool new parts on it. And we're gonna be testing this suspension, and spoiler alert, we already rode it and it feels incredible and it's not very expensive. So with that, hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoy our channel. We really appreciate it. We're gonna jump back in the garage to tell you all about the suspension. It will be quick, I promise. And then we're gonna go out and ride it, test it on the trail, and compare it to the top dog EXT suspension. Let's go. Well guys, I made a mistake. I just got an email after filming this entire video that explains the pronunciation of RFLOXA. That's how I've been saying it the whole video, but it is actually RFLOXA. So just know that. Little disclaimer, we're gonna get back to the video, but I'm gonna keep saying RFLOXA because I'm not gonna refilm this entire video, but the real name is RFLOXA. Now that we're back in the garage, let's talk a little bit more in depth about this new RFLOXA suspension. You may have seen some other YouTubers put out reviews on these forks. I haven't seen a rear shock review yet, but today we're gonna go over both and several different models. So to start, we have this model right here. This is the one that is on Reed's bike that we're gonna be primarily reviewing and going on a ride with. This is the Pro version. So this one comes in at $899, and we will be carrying RFLOXA on our website, tbelectricmoto.com, because we already think they're an incredible value for what you pay, and there's several different models so you guys can pick which price point is right for you. So this is the top of the line model. This one has high speed compression, low speed compression, and rebound and spring preload adjust. So it has 4 different settings that you can change, and it also comes with this really high-end billet triple clamp. You can see that it's super, super light. If I show you guys this top, this thing is absolutely beautiful. It really goes kind of right in line with like the EXT Faro. It's really nice billet stuff on here. This Pro model comes in a couple different spring rates. Right here we are testing the progressive 45 to 60 pound, which in our opinions feels really nice for the kind of riding we like to do. There is also a 228 mil travel version. This is the standard 200. We have some 228s on the way to test and sell because I think that's gonna be awesome to add about another 1 inch of travel to the front of our e-motos. This is another RFLOXA fork. This is not a Pro model, and it is less expensive because it does not have high speed and low speed compression. It does still have compression adjust, spring preload, and rebound, just like the other fork. It also does not have the billet triple clamps. These are just cast. This is still a really nice fork and comes in at $599. I think RFLOXA is really crushing the game right now, coming out with several different price points of models for you guys to pick from. I'm excited to continue to test and review these products. Here is the RFLOXA rear shock. They have 2 options. We're only gonna be reviewing and carrying the more expensive one because it's only $259. This shock is an absolute bargain for what you get, in my opinion. We do have high speed compression, low speed compression, and rebound adjust on this shock. And so far, it feels awesome. We have tested both the 450 and the 550 on 2 different models. We tried a 450 pound spring rate on our upgraded Eride Pro, and today we will be riding a 550 pound spring rate version on Reed's Talaria Sting. Reed's Talaria is heavier, and the linkages and the way the suspension articulates is very different between a Talaria and an Eride. In our opinion, the 550 weight spring on Reed's bike feels more plush and like it has more travel than even the 450 did on our Eride Pro. That is how different the Eride and the Talaria linkage systems feel, and you should use different spring rates accordingly. If you guys are interested in purchasing suspension, shoot us an email at support@tbelectricmoto.com and we can help you pick the right spring rate for the type of riding you do and the type of bike you have, because it really is a pretty big difference. I mean, 550 on a Talaria, I think feels more plush than the 450 on an Eride. So it's good to get some info from people that have actually ridden the suspension to compare it. With that, let's head back outside and continue to test this suspension and do our best to explain how it feels out on the trail, but I'm stoked for our FLOXA because we got a $900 upgraded fork, a $600 upgraded fork, and a $259 rear shock that feel excellent. Let's get out and keep testing. All right, guys, welcome to the off-road portion of the video. We gotta put this suspension to the test. Right now, I am riding our Eride Pro that has EXT suspension front and rear, and Reed is riding his bike with the RFLOXA front and rear. So hopefully he's doing a little bit of talking to the camera, telling you guys how he feels. He hasn't been on a video in a while. You guys have been wondering where he's been. He spends most of the time running the online store, and I'm more in charge of the videos. So it's good to get him out riding because he's a good rider and he's got good expertise and opinions on this kind of stuff, so I wanted him out here.
All right, you guys, I'm back. It's been a long time since I've done the helmet cam, but I had to get on here and tell you guys how good this RFLOXA suspension is. You're in the trench.
This is nasty.
This stuff never shows up on camera.
No, this is nothing, like nothing on camera, and yet in our last Ultra Bee video, I passed a dirt biker that was there and I wall rode all the way up the side. It doesn't even look like I did anything cool. Woo! Come on, Reed. You gotta ride that thing.
I was just stopping for fun.
Reed doesn't ride enough.
I can't believe how good the suspension is for, is it $1,200 for both front and rear?
Yeah, with tax, you're like $1,250 or something.
It's not as good as the XT, but it's not far off for the price.
Yeah, like
this is crazy.
It's really crazy. I'm really curious to see how it holds up with just a lot of beating over and over and over again, you know, thousands of miles. That's the real test, but so far it feels really nice. We probably got 75 to 100 miles on it because we took it down to St. George and let a bunch of people ride it. We actually had it on this bike originally, tested it a bit, and then we tried it on the Talaria.
Yep, we had a 450 spring on the back of the E-Ride. We have a 550 on my bike. The other great thing about this suspension is it feels so solid. It doesn't feel like it's flexing at all. It doesn't feel like flimsy. It just feels solid, put together, like you can go over anything. It goes right through it. The wheel hasn't twisted it once yet. Even EXT suspension is really strong, but it also can flex just a little bit if you push it hard. This feels even stronger than that. Again, I'm not saying this is better than EXT, because it's not. I would still take EXT over it. But for a third of the cost, it's absolutely unreal. Man, this trail is rough.
It really is crazy how different the setups feel from bike to bike. Like, even to be honest, that fork felt a lot stiffer on this bike than it did on that bike, and I think it just also has to do with how the bikes are balanced front to rear. Reed has a riser linkage on that bike, and so it almost like, you know, raises the back end up a little bit and allows you to have a little bit more weight on the front, so it makes the fork feel softer than it did on this bike.
It's also awesome that this suspension has high and low speed compression front and rear, because then you can do the low speed compression for the small bump, get all these rocks feeling good, and then you can do the high speed compression how you want for if you hit big hits, big jumps, big rocks.
One thing I want to mention about this RFLOXA is that it has some of the faster rebound of any suspension besides EXT. EXT has really good high quality rebound that, you know, really can bounce back quickly if that's how you want it set. It's not as fast as EXT, and it doesn't feel as good as EXT, which we've mentioned already in this video. But I just want to throw that out there, that that's a big difference in my mind that is really putting that fork, and especially the rear shock, has exceptional rebound up and down.
I'm running the 45 to 60 pound spring, just 200 mil travel on the front. I'm really excited to try the 228 mil travel once we get it, because that's gonna lift up the front of my bike a little, give me some more travel. I'm also gonna do just a 45 pound spring, make it just a little softer.
When you're someone like us that has every different model that there is, and we're always testing and comparing things, you start to notice that there is way more differences between all these bikes than you think. I mean, genuinely, there's a huge difference between all these bikes. And so when you're picking an aftermarket shock, that's something you gotta really think about. Is not only do you really gotta think about what bike you have, and that helps you pick what spring rate, but what kind of riding you do and how heavy you are. Because I've seen a lot of people going around riding springs that are just way too stiff for the kind of riding or the type of rider they are. You know, how hard you push a bike. I'm not calling people out for being, you know, not as aggressive or not as good riders. That's not my intent at all. I'm just saying, if you don't ride or push as hard and you ride stuff like we're riding today, you shouldn't be on a 50 or 100 pound stiffer spring just because someone told you to. Yo, I cleared that. I saw him put a foot down. Ooh. I need to try that bike again. Hey, can I try that bike?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I did my filming, I'm done. Can I stop?
Sure. It's not Reed's favorite filming these videos. He's a good sport though some of the time. Oh, this bike's a whole different bike. Geometry's so different. All right. Oh, wow. This suspension is so nice. Oh no, the gate's closed. The gate's closed. Dang. Well, we can go up the road or just go back down. Can you go faster? Did you guys know that Reed has 2 riding modes, either really fast or really slow, and there's no in between? I don't know why, but he's either dropping you because he's hauling, or you just want to pass him because he's going really slow. But if you guys couldn't tell, we're going back down now because that gate was closed. But it's a really good opportunity to test this suspension, bombing down some rocky downhill. And it's a little sketch because there's leaves and I can't see the rocks. I gotta be honest, our RFLOXA just really knocked it out of the park on this suspension. Ow. It's not as good as EXT, like Reed was saying. I gotta make that clear. This is a very, whoa! This is a very positive review. And we're very excited that our RFLOXA exists and is pushing the limit to create good suspension for a really good price point. But EXT is better. It's still the premium product. And right now those are on super sale as well. So you guys can get a smoking deal if you want some EXT. But right now this suspension is great for those of you who want sort of the next best thing for quite a bit less money. So if you guys are interested, Talaria Boys code, it'll work on this. Reed forgot to show us something. What do we got?
How cool my new front number plate is.
Let's check it out. There's one on that bike too. Look at that. Talaria Boys.
Drift 8 custom.
Yes.
Number plate, TB Electric, Talaria Boys.
Yo.
Check them out.
Drift 8, check them out. Link in the video description. They made these for us. Super generous of them. We have a bunch and we're gonna make more because you can put whatever you want. It's a laser engraven. You can upload your design. Sick.
Yeah, super cool. Check them out. Link in the description. We just got these as well. Put them on my bike. Carbon fiber there. Carbon fiber here. Those are on our website. Go check them out. It makes the bike look so good.
They're blinging Reed's bike up. We got the titanium. We got the carbon. We got the metal front plate.
My bike has never looked cooler. It needs a new decal kit. I don't have one on right now.
Yeah.
Let me know what kind of decal kit I should do, what colors and whatnot.
Has to be blue.
It doesn't have to. It could be orange.
Well, it could be orange. Ooh.
Let me know.
Dang, look at that view. Okay guys, we're gonna transition here for a second and talk about upgrading your stock suspension to upgraded suspension, kind of what goes along with that. And hopefully we can help you guys pick some good suspension that fits your budget, that'll make a big difference for your riding. We got to talk about upgrading your stock suspension on your stock bike and what options there are and what you guys need to think about when you do it. So first off, Eride Pro SS, it's not our favorite suspension stock. It doesn't last. It doesn't feel very good in our opinion. It's kind of a bummer because that bike has so much to offer, but I think they skimped on the suspension a little bit to get it under a certain price point, which is great, but I think that's what is going on. Yeah. Where I think some of the other stock models come with better suspension and maybe you pay a little bit more because of it, but in my opinion, that's worth it. However, if you have a stock Eride Pro and you feel like your fork needs an upgrade, RFLOXA, amazing idea to purchase. And you guys can decide what spring rate you want and what travel you want based on the type of riding you like to do. And we're always here to help. If you guys want to drop us an email, support@tbelectricmoto.com, we can talk you through the type of riding you do and your weight and get you set up with the product that's going to make the biggest difference for you. And that goes the same for a rear shock, for a Talaria, for a Surron, all those kind of things. In a lot of people's opinions, suspension like this, which is Chinese suspension, you know, EXT is handmade in Italy. This is different than that. You know, that's why it's so much more expensive. It has more technology in it. It's a little more premium. However, a lot of people think that suspension like this, our RFLOXA stuff, is no different than what comes stock on a bike. I have to say that's just not true. This suspension feels vastly better and improved compared to any other stock suspension we've felt.
We've ridden all of them.
Yeah, we've literally ridden all of them. I made that comment on the way. We have every bike. I'm not trying to brag. It's just we have this YouTube channel and it's all we do. All we do is test bikes, compare parts, go on rides, and we just talk about it the whole time. We trade bikes back and forth. Even on the rides when we don't have a camera, we're just testing stuff. So with that, we tried recently a Talaria MX5 and we put an RFLOXA rear shock on the back because in our opinion, the fork on an MX5 feels a little more plush and better than the rear shock on an MX5, at least for our weight and our type of trail riding. So we put an RFLOXA on the back and it just blew our minds. That bike felt so much better, felt so well balanced, and a rear shock's only $259.
Crazy.
It is actually crazy. Yeah. So if you guys are wanting to buy upgraded suspension and you've been waiting for something that doesn't break the bank and actually is going to transform your bike, this is the stuff to do it. And we don't usually go this far out of our way trying to make, you know, a really good video and help you guys understand how good a product is unless it's this good. I also got to remind you guys, there is the cheaper RFLOXA fork model for $600 that doesn't have the high and low speed compression. That's a great option as well. If you pair that with a rear shock, you're under $900 for good suspension front and rear. So that's super cool to see that they have the different models, and it's awesome to see like the really nice billet triple clamps that I showed you guys earlier. It just shows the company is trying to create something that's beautiful and that performs well. And I think that goes a long way in, you know, blinging up these bikes, making them look cool and making them look the way that they do.
That's the funnest part, is modding your bikes. Look at mine.
Yeah, it's totally true. We had this conversation with one of our friends earlier. He has basically a fully upgraded Surron, basically everything you can do. And he's like, it's fun, I can still go ride it, but a lot of the fun is gone because now I can't find cool new stuff that I want to put on it and make it my own. So keep doing it, guys. Keep, you know, blinging out your bike, making it your own. It's super fun. Well, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up today's video. We actually have to hurry back down the shop to finish packing you guys' orders from today. We got to get them to the post office before it closes. Mark's been working on them, but he needs some help because we got a bunch from the giveaway ending recently. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button. It really makes a difference. And if you want some cool new suspension, check the link in the video description. Use that discount code TalariaBoys. You guys can save. Have a good one. See ya.